Let's talk about the UBI. It recently came out. I think it's Pelosi and some of kind of her peers, but it doesn't really matter who it is now proposing the idea of folks getting a digital wallet and receiving these UBI payments potentially through a digital dollar. What do you kind of take from this whole idea of everyone hates Libra and Bitcoin, 12 months ago to now we're talking about potentially paying UBI via a digital dollar into a digital wallet?
To me, it sounds like they're speeding up the adoption of Bitcoin. I mean, think about it. You're going to have immediate clearance of transactions into Bitcoin. So before, if they were doing UBI checks to their Bank of America account and then they had to clear it and whatever, I mean, I think it's going to be a faster clearance of transactions time into a sound monetary baseline currency. And there's definitely no difference in it being pegged, which is the issue. So unless, and even if they did say it was pegged, I don't think anyone would believe it. So I know I wouldn't. I would immediately swap it into Bitcoin if I received it. And I think anybody who understands what's happening is going to do the exact same thing. So if anything, they've just accelerated the speed at which Bitcoin adoption is going to happen by doing it. So sure, have at it.
Yeah, the one of the reasons why last year on television I started talking more and more about the digital dollar was I thought that there was kind of a win-win situation, which was the U.S. If other countries were to digitize their currency and the U.S. did not, we didn't have a digital dollar, there is a big risk to the dollar becoming less accessible to people around the world, right? If I can all of a sudden, with an internet connection, log in and I can buy the digital yuan or a digital ruble or something like that, but I can't get a digital dollar, there's an accessibility challenge, and therefore I'm going to store my wealth in another currency if for some reason I don't do it in Bitcoin. But then the second piece is, well, if they're going to digitize the dollar, then they're going to have to get everyone digital wallets. And just like you said, I think that once you start handing people digital wallets, humans aren't stupid, right? And they're going to realize very quickly, wait a second, there's one that's a deflationary type currency that has the ability to be provably scarce, versus I've got this inflationary thing, which if you look at the Fed's balance sheet from last week, literally it looks like it went parabolic, right? And that they added $356 billion, which is the highest increase in a week ever, right? And so I think just when you start thinking about where does an entire generation of people put their kind of wealth and where do they trust? Well, they trust the thing that they can prove. And so if you're going to hand people digital wallets, like you said, I think you're just accelerating Bitcoin's kind of rise in popularity.
I mean, if you've got $1 billion and you got to send it into another currency and it takes hours or a day to get a clearance of transaction on that, you've got to take out some type of, I would think a smart person would look at that and say, all right, what's my volatility risk for this specific currency into the other one? And they got to take out a derivatives contract in order to protect that. With digital tokens, you get your clearance of transactions near immediate, right? So you're taking that frictional cost of protecting that volatility risk through the time that it takes to clear completely out of the equation. So, the countries that are going to be the last movers on that, I don't know that I would step out and say that it's going to be the demise of that currency by any shape of the imagination, but it's definitely going to push people, corporations, and nations to adopt a different form of currency. I mean, it's just silly, man. When you look at how obvious some of this is, you just got to shake your head and just say, my God, how are people not getting this?